Did International even have a presence here in
No.
Springfield?
No. And this is not a dealership. This is international. This is
Yeah, because up the road, Rush, they
right.
sell International.
They do. And they sell used trucks too. But no dealership can buy all of the trucks that come off of lease. So what happens is they get a choice at it. They can take what they want, and then we get the rest, and we bring them here and recondition them. And we have 11 or 12 used truck centers across the country that are set up like little used truck lots. One
Wow.
building, manager, 4 or 5 salespeople. Yeah.
Before this building, 2022, did International even have a presence here?
No.
So what was the thought behind putting this here and developing this?
Good question. Aaron, do you want to try to take that?
The company created the used truck reconditioning center. At the time, it was called the Used Equipment Reconditioning Center in 2016 in Indianapolis, Indiana. It was a way of us to help customer concerns with the Max Force engine, because at the time we had EGR cooler issues with it. They were always plugging up. Nobody really liked it. Nobody wanted the engine. So we stood up the UERC in 2013 in Indianapolis, Indiana. And it was basically we did oil changes and cooler core replacements to make sure that there's no problems with the EGR system after the truck left. Then the truck would go to one of our used truck centers. At the time, we had about 15. I think now we're down to 13. 2016, we were told that they were selling the building that we were in, which was the engine plant in Indianapolis on Brookville Road. So they sold that. We packed up the whole entire shop and moved it to Melrose Park, Illinois. So we were there from 2016 to 2021, and we sold the building again. So we had to pack up and move out of there. And when we were getting ready to move out, Trucking Brewers was looking to put a depot here in Springfield, Missouri.
Oh, okay.
So
That makes
we
sense.
ended up talking with them, and they built this 3/4 of the shop onto their building, and then they turned around and rented it over to us. So we're smack dab in the middle of the U.S., which should help with anything that has to go toward the East Coast or anything that has to go toward the West Coast. So that's why we picked this one here being the good spot to set it up. So 2022, building was in the process of being built. Was supposed to have been done April. Didn't happen in April because of COVID stuff with like panels for the electrical boxes in the back, garage doors, and get all components for that. So we had to wait on those to get installed. We actually had them put temporary wooden barn doors up just so we can get trucks in and out. And then on June 1st of 22, we actually moved all the parts into the warehouse, set the warehouse up, set the shop up, and then been running ever since. Since we started, we've gone from just doing oil changes to cooler cores all the way up to rebuilding International's proprietary engines. If anything is wrong with those, we have capability of pulling engines and swapping them. We do 3 different reconditioning styles for various truck centers throughout the country. So we have just a wholesale, which we just make sure that it starts, stops, steers, no check engine lights, it passes DOT. We have a level 1, which is a little more in depth. And then we do a level 2, which includes a wet B PM DOT inspection. And then we go through and we change up or repair a lot of heavier body damage.
So someone like, let's just say, because Prime's here in town, they're bringing in, they're trading in used trucks. They're coming in here. They're buying new trucks, right? Who's buying the used trucks? Like what companies are buying the used trucks versus buying new ones?
We take, when the truck is traded in on trade, we take and we recondition it, and then we find another customer for it. So like the used truck centers, they all have their little customers that range anywhere from owner-operators with 1 to 2 trucks out to like Lone Mountain. They usually buy like 50 trucks a month.
And a lot of these, so it's, they're over-the-road trucks, but I think I saw, there's even, daycare,
Yeah, we got.
So how many different makes and models are coming in here?
Most of our inventory is international here. We do get occasional Volvos, Freightliners every once in a while, depending on what the carrier had at the time. So like JB Hunt usually has Freightliners that come in. Those come in, they sit around for like a couple of days, and they're already gone.
So you guys will deal with other other makes and models, not just.
Yeah. If we get a Freightliner in here, for instance, and a center says, I want that Freightliner done to a level 2, we'll bring it in the shop, we'll change the oil, fix all the body stuff on it, fix the interior stuff on it. Not nearly as in-depth as we would with a international, but we still go through, look it over, get the parts ordered, usually from either Tag or Rush, get the parts in, we fix the truck, and then we send it out.
Brian, are you selling to, I mean, are your customer list?
I do more of a radius, which is a little different from just from a normal truck center. Okay. So I go out and make calls. I'm looking for trucking companies that are trying to grow, wanting to add on more trucks or update their fleet, and probably in that anywhere from 5 to 50 trucks. It depends on how you want to run your business, but there is a good model. I've got one customer that he buys 250,000 to 300,000 mile trucks, puts 2-year full extended warranty on them, and then he's looking to do it again at the end of that 2 years. He has figured out the magic numbers he's exhausted that truck in his opinion and wants to start over and do the same thing. Well, he saves himself a ton of money because you can buy 3 of what I sell for what you have to pay for a new one.
Say that again?
You can buy 3 of these for what a new one costs. And they're in good shape because Aaron takes care of them.
And plus they have the warranty too.
And you can
because that's a lot of people that buy the new because you get all the...
Yeah, and you can add an international backed 2-year, 1 year, 6 months extended warranty.
Do you know with international, what's the market share trucks in the U.S.? Freightliner's still number 1, aren't they?
They
are.
They
got the most volume.
They are. It is interesting too because if you ask people outside that are in the trucking realm what they think market share is for international, they'd probably give you a lot lower number. Mm-hmm. But in actuality, international has the same market share as Kenworth individually and Peterbilt individually, about 13-14%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and each one of those companies have the same. So we compete well in the market. It gets better all the time.
Typically, when you guys are reconditioning these, what are the most common problems that you're...
A lot of stuff that we find is just damaged body components. So like cab extenders are usually banged up pretty good and cracked. The cab extender brackets are broken.
And that's because
driver error, backing up, jackknifing it, or sometimes too pulling the trucks backwards. If they don't secure the air deflectors.
Oh, just moving them.
Yeah, they'll snap the supports for all the. There's 4 on each side. They'll snap those, and then we end up bringing them in, or the little trim molding rubber tabs that come off of them. They're about maybe 5 or 6 inches and held on with screws, and those will just fly right off when they're pulling. But
hey guys, we are well underway planning for the Bulk Freight Conference. It's scheduled for January 7th through the 9th, 2026 in Branson, Missouri. We're going to have it again at the same place we did last year in Branson. It was a great event. We had over 700 attendees this next year. We think we are going to double that. Make sure and go to the bulkfreightconference.com. Get your tickets scheduled. We're going to have a lineup of keynote speakers, guest panelists, wide range of topics. We're going to have entertainment, all your meals covered. Man, go to bulkfreightconference.com and get your tickets scheduled now. God bless.
Ask him how many trucks.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you how many trucks come through here. Is that...
So yeah, last year was we pushed about 700 trucks through here last year, and then this year we're up to about 300 right now.
Already? Wow.
Yeah. So we stay busy, and then there are times too where it's not really busy for us. So we got to find stuff to do, which is like all the stuff on storage. So if we have a truck that's out there that has an issue with it, then we'll bring them up when we get a lull in. But if we have massive amounts of requests, then we're just turning and burning. I'll issue out 4 or 5 work orders per tech, and then I give them the freedom to say which ones they want to bring in. They tell me what ones. I request them from truck movers next door. They go out, grab the truck, bring it up to the door. The technician brings it in, inspects it top to bottom, front to back, does up a parts card, submits it. We order the parts if we have to order them. If we have them in stock, we give them all the stock parts. Truck's done and off. If we have to order them, they park them down at the bottom of the berm out here. We order the parts, they bring in the next truck and inspect that one. And then when those parts come in for the first truck, they'll work that one back in, put the parts on it, and stage it to go out. And then just keep going, just one right after another. And then the shop is probably one of the cleanest you'll ever see.
Yeah, I just never see them. How many technicians are out here?
So we have 4 technicians. I have the availability of up to 5. We have the 5 bays, 2 of which, bays 4 and 5, have overhead crane. We actually took that out of Melrose Park.
Yeah.
Brought it down here so we can actually pull engines, pull off cylinder heads, stuff like that. We have a wash bay so we can clean engine bays, degrease,
nice.
stuff like that before we get a tear into an engine. And then we have our parts warehouse back here, oil storage room. But so as far as my warehouse here, this is all the stuff that we normally would use during a level 2. So that way I don't have to order all the time. So I like all my filtration, I got filtration back here. I got all kinds of brake components back here that we normally replace out. QLS's, def tank heater valves, the brackets for the cab extenders. I got rows of those up there. We try to do what we can to keep the cost down as low as possible while we're reconditioning and we're not overspending. Because if we spend too much money, Brian goes to sell that truck.
Right.
Brian is not going to make any money for the company on it.
Yeah.
Kind of defeats the purpose. So
Which is nice for you all, for you to be here to kind of closely working together to show where the market is.
And we
to
do.
sell that. Yeah.
And we do. It's not uncommon for a tech to come and get me
Yeah.
and say, what do you think about this? Do you want it replaced or not?
Yeah, because like.
And if I want it replaced, I don't get, there's no question.
Yeah, the nice thing about him being here is that we have the availability to say,
What
I
do you
wouldn't
think?
I wouldn't normally replace this, but let me check.
Yeah.
And then they go grab Brian. Hey, I was thinking about replacing this. What do you think? He says, my customer's not worried about that. Then
That's
great.
right.
Then we don't even address it. But if the customer says, oh yeah, I want that fixed, then we go ahead and get it fixed.
For people that don't know about international, like what's different about international trucks, or what do people like or enjoy more about them when people are looking at different makes and models? So I don't want to say what's bad about others or whatever, but like what stands out about international that people really kind of gravitate towards when they're looking at purchasing?
Without talking, I don't want to, like you said, we don't want to talk bad about anybody else,
Right.
because there's a lot of fine trucks on the market, no doubt. But there are some trucks that are supply and demand, more desirable, and therefore the price goes up just because of the name of the truck.
Yeah.
And I feel like that my clients are looking more for, I need a tool to do my job.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where international fits right in. We get the same or better fuel economy. We have a good truck that does the job every day. So we really, we compete well in that area. And if you look around, as you're driving down the road, you don't realize it, but there's a lot of internationals running up and down the road. But if you look at who they are, they're fleets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're buying a lot of trucks at one time, and a little bit of cost savings is a lot of money.
Oh,
So,
yeah. I've even seen, like I said, there's some companies right here in Northwest Arkansas, some big companies
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I know run a lot of internationals.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, Walmart, they have Freightliners, Kenworths, International. I believe JB Hunt and Walmart are running a couple trucks with our S13 engine in it, which is our newer one. Came out in like 24.
Pretty good motor.
Oh yeah, a lot better than the A26. Better fuel economy. I mean, it just sounds different. It sounds more robust and better built than the A26 does.
What's your thought process on EV? Because again, you're running these shops, diesel. I mean, some people talk about, you know, it's still so far out when we're going to see really, you know, electric motors in trucking and being that. But I like, what's your opinion?
I mean, as far as EVs in general, I mean, I don't think the country's where it needs to be to support charging for Class 8 trucks yet. Personally, that's how I look at it. I mean, it's doable. I mean, we're working on an RH that's all electric right now.
What is?
It's a RH, so it's like a day cab,
Okay.
kind of like the old ProStar. Yeah, we're working on making one of those battery powered. There's some people that have driven it and say that it moves quite quickly, 0 to 60 quite quickly in the truck.
And we are heavily veteran staffed.
Yeah,
Command Sergeant Major.
I retired. Yeah, I retired after 23 years. Nate was in the Navy. Aaron in Bay 1 was in the Army, and then Wade, the guy that was in my office, he retired out as an E8 after 23 years.
A lot of veteran.
Yeah, you guys have a lot
Yeah,
of veterans.
there's four of us that are prior service or veterans. Yeah, 2014 I went on active duty down at Camp Atterbury, Indiana. Did a stint over in Afghanistan. came back. I got off active duty in 2014. I got on active duty in 2004. My bad. I started with International in 2014 when I came off active duty.
Okay.
They actually called me like a year before when they were setting this initial phase up of the used truck reconditioning center, and I applied for the job and I got accepted, but one of my soldiers also applied for that job and he didn't get accepted. So I told the recruiters, like, hey, I don't need that job that bad. You give it to this guy and you call me whenever you get something. So he went and got hired on first. He started out from the beginning. And then when I came on in 2014, they called me up like June of 2014, like, hey, still looking for a job? I mean, I'm not looking, but I'll definitely apply. And then, so I applied for it and got the job. And then the shop, like I said, was doing oil changes and cooler core changing, and that was pretty much it. So me and my buddy of mine that got hired on before me, we took and turbo went out in a truck. It's like, why don't we replace that? Well, we sent it to Rush. I was like, but it'd be cheaper if we did it. Yeah, but so it's like we took our knowledge and applied it to there, and we couldn't understand why we were sending it out somewhere else. And finally, it was like, okay, you want to do it? We'll order it, and then we fixed it, and then off it went. So it just kept piling up after that. We kept a little more, a little more, a little more, a little more. So now we do all kinds of stuff.
I served in the Army, and I went into the 82nd Airborne straight out of high school, did 3 years, got into the reserves after my active duty, and so I stayed in. I was deployed for a year in 2004 to Iraq, and ultimately finished out my career with 23 years total, retired as a master sergeant on the reserve side. So I don't know about all of them, but I mean, I was attracted to the place just because of the standards that I saw when I come in, and because I was actually working for truck drivers. And so whenever I met Aaron to drive a truck away, you know, he was telling me about a position that he had here as a driver, and he, you know, we communicated a little bit, and I'd come in the next week and get another truck, and so, you know, he began to tell me a little bit about his history, and he was retired military, and so we just kind of, you know, hit it off, and I could just see the same standard the military. But the military's got a pretty high standard as far as, you know, just organization and so forth. You know, I noticed that. I just recognized that, and I'm sure that's probably some of the same attraction with other guys as well. I do hear, you know, I'm not familiar with the rest of the company. I've only been here a few months, but I know that the standards that, you know, that Aaron implements here, I just see that with all with the technicians, and as far as the military standards concerned. I mean, it just resembles that, and so I do. I mean, there's you know, one of the appeals to me is just the cleanliness of this place, and you go out into the shop and you see how spotless it is out there, and there's just a pride that's taken, you know, and so these guys, they just fly in and they just maintain that same military standard that they had when they were on active duty or whatever, and it just kind of flows over into this as well.
But yeah, that flag was hanging up there in Indy, and then when they shut the foundry down, all the employees were gone out of there. We were still in the building. We had a whole plant that was vacant, and it was just us in this little pole barn partition off the side of the building that had 20 spots in it, asphalt ground. Even the guardrails for the parking lot were inside the building because they extended it out, and that's where we worked out of. So we found the flag and we took it down. This is the flag that hung up in Indianapolis, and then we took it down and moved it to Melrose Park, and then when we closed down Melrose Park, we took it down here, and it's been hanging up ever since. Every spot we were at is hung up on display. Usually around the entryway, because in Melrose, the door came in there and it was hung up on the wall on that side in Melrose, and then here we just threw it right there.
Thing's huge.
Yeah, it was flown above some Capitol at one time for like a day. I wish I would have took the plaque, or at least took a picture of it, but I didn't. So I just know it was above the Capitol at one time.
and then they had it down
This was
there.
above the U.S. Capitol?
So one, yeah, either the Capitol or the Senate. One of them that was in Washington D.C. had a plaque underneath it when we took it down. But we took the flag down. We didn't care about the plaque, which it'd been nice to know like what day it was flown above it and all that. But the building's now long gone, so I can't go back and find it if I wanted to.
Was this pulled up here for us? Or no?
Not exactly, but
Oh.
it's convenient.
Oh, okay.
That's a retail ready truck.
So this thing's been through the reconditioning and ready to go out the door.
Yeah, this one here.
Actually sold. It's actually sold. But
This is pretty.
we're pretty proud of what we do to get these ready. And the goal is, for me, when I sell it, I want the new owner to be able to put a driver in it and send them right out.
Yeah.
I don't want them
Ready
to
to go.
take it somewhere else and do anything to it. I want it, so if they need something, they let us know.
If there's decals and all that, you guys take all that off
Yeah.
and clean
Yeah.
them up and
Yeah.
Except for the American flag.
Yeah,
We don't take those off.
Any truck that's got the American flag on it, usually all the Walmarts, we leave the American flag on it. We had one truck come in that was all wrapped with the salute to service members, and I think it was a Walmart one, but we left all that stuff on there. We didn't take it off. I'm like, I'm not taking it off there. I'm gonna leave it on. And someone actually bought it, wrapped like that. And then after, everybody's asking where we got it done at. Well, we didn't do it. It was Walmart. We just didn't want to peel it off of her, so.
So where do a lot of these used trucks end up?
We usually sell to various owner operators, and then also too is we have like larger accounts with Lone Mountain who will purchase.
Yeah. So Lone Mountain,
Excellent
they
truck.
actually up in Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Yep.
They're actually, we work with them on insurance. They have an insurance division called 10-4 Truck Insurance. I was up there this summer and they gave us a tour of the property, but they actually, I can remember having a lot of trucks in inventory
Yeah.
because they have it's probably one of the largest lease purchase programs that they have.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and it's like every month or so we send out about 50 units to Lone Mountain. We'll get them ready to go and
Yeah.
then send them off, and then they do the lease portion of it with drivers, getting them in the trucks, operating them down the road, everything like that, and then the driver ends up working their way through owning the truck.
yeah, that's so cool. I'll be up there pretty soon actually to see those guys again. So
Nice.
small world. I can't thank you guys enough for letting us come out and do this, and especially right here in Springfield. Most of our trips we're going to Washington or Pennsylvania. We love those, but man, it's neat to just jump in the car and 20 minutes over here by the airport and do this. And I, like I said, I had no idea that this was in here. I'm glad you reached out to me on LinkedIn.
Well, I'd seen
And-
what you do, and I wanted you to come over if you wanted to. So we
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks
awesome.
a lot.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Appreciate it.